Are you tired and worn out? Is that you? Are you pushing yourself too hard for too long? Are you deep down tired and exhausted? The Bible word for that is weary. Maybe you're caring for an aging parent who's sick, or you're a single mom balancing school, work, kids. Maybe you don't have the time or the money to take a real break. Adding that to your already busy life has you missing sleep and feeling stressed. You have to work overtime or a second job to make ends meet. Every area in your life has stress. Marriage, family, work, school. You're worn out and exhausted with no end in sight.
Stress is a killer. I wonder what brings the most stress into your life. Is it your family? Maybe some friend? Maybe it's your job. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's the direction of our nation. But when you look around, there's just stress everywhere. This is a time and a period of great stress. And people are feeling it, and they're bearing it, and they're going to all kinds of means to eliminate it in their life, and yet it doesn't work. Anything to get rid of this feeling that we have, that somehow it's bearing us down and grinding us down, and we're looking for an escape. And it's interesting that none of the things that we've come up with has any escapement to it.
So what do you do? Is there an answer? Is there hope? Jesus knew what you would face. He understood weariness and fatigue, so he offered a way out, a beautiful promise found in Matthew chapter 11. Listen to the words of Jesus, who said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." See, now that's a phrase you don't hear very often, if ever, in today's world. Take my yoke, or yoke. In order to really understand that promise, we've got to figure out what it means.
Jesus said, "Take my yoke upon you, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Now, you know what a yoke is. A yoke is a wooden crossbeam that is designed for oxen to pull, so that two can pull as a team with far more power than if two were separate and were pulling. And so he used that as a symbol for us, as an analogy, and he said, you need me right beside you to go through life. You need me on one side of that thing, and you get in the other. Do not get in that by yourself. Do not get in a single yoke, Jesus is saying. You'll be crushed. Get in a double yoke, and I will always be with you, and I will walk with you every step of the way. You put your head on one side, I'll put my head on one side, and I promise I will do more than my fair share of pulling more than my side and more than my weight.
Jesus said, "Come to me. Place yourself in the yoke. Choose to join to me. Connect yourself to me. I won't place unnecessary burdens on you. I won't be mean or cruel." When you get here alongside me, I will do the pulling for you. My yoke is easy, and my burden is light. When you yoke yourself to Jesus, you move at his speed instead of your own. He does the striving. He does the pulling. He does the hard work. It's arriving on time, his time, not ahead of him or behind him, but beside him. When you come near the end of your strength, you're nowhere near the end of mine, because my strength never ends. So give me your weakness and your weariness. Come to me with your tiredness and fatigue. I'll replace it with a strength that is way beyond your own, because in your weakness, I am strong.
The reason I'm stressed is because I'm carrying things that God never asked me to carry. I'm worrying about things that God never asked me to worry about. I'm carrying the wrong yoke. When life is too heavy, when you don't have the capacity, when there are no answers for the problem you have, come to me, Jesus says. And in me, you're going to find rest. How? He tells us, take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your soul. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. And you and I in this moment want to say, is that even possible? Here's what I love about Jesus as he begins this invitation to you and me, is he says, hey, come to me, all you that are weary and burdened. You get that Jesus doesn't say, hey, no, actually life's not that hard. You shouldn't be stressed. No, he says, hey, life is hard. Life is hard. You're going to find yourself in moments where you are just absolutely weary, where what you're having to carry is greater than your capacity to carry it. Come unto me, all of you who are weary. Life's hard. And life heaps unfairness on what is already hard. And Jesus doesn't minimize that. He says, hey, all of you who find life too much, you find the burden more than you can carry, come to me, because I'm willing to offer rest. And I do the part that I'm supposed to do, and then when my ability and capacity becomes insufficient, it's in that moment that God's sufficiency fills in the rest. See, it's in that moment that I go, look, I don't have to stress on that problem, because when all of my strength and when all of my intellect wears out, that's when Jesus' capacity, his ability and his strength kicks in. That's the wonder of being paired with him. Stop trying to navigate your problem in your own capacity. You're wearing the wrong yoke. If you would come join my yoke, then when we reach the limit of your ability, that's when my ability would step in for you. That's why you can say, my yoke is easy and my burden is light.
And that is, God will not give you more than what He can handle. Have you noticed I didn't say you can handle? Why? Because He expects you to do your life with Him. That's why what I wanted to say is this: God will not let you have more than what He can handle.
That in the midst of my struggles, in the midst of my problems, if I know that God is with me, then I don't need to be stressed about my problems. Let me just say this again. In the midst of whatever's going on, I don't care how dark it is, I don't care how broken it is, I don't care how big it is. If in the midst of my struggles, if I can live with the absolute confidence that God is there with me and that God is bigger than my problems, then I don't have to live with stress.
If God is with you, it's okay. Y'all, there's no if, no ands, no buts about it. Life is just gonna happen. And here's the thing, I'm just trying to get some of you to see that if you have this faith, if you really believe in this God and you know that God is with you, instead of stressing out about the stuff that comes your way, act like you know He's with you. Walk with a godly confidence. Walk by faith and not by sight.
We need God in our life. And as Christian people, the promise of God is this: I will be with you. And God is with you. God is with you in the things that you face. So much of what we think is important, so much as what we put value on will come and go. Will come and go. Things that today we think are so important, so stressful, so crushing to us will come and go, and we will get to the other side. Life is this journey where we are stepping forward. Life is this journey when we are stepping forward, where we're moving through, and things come and they go.
One step at a time. Day by day, you've got to walk. Read the book of Ephesians. The book of Ephesians talks about us being in the heavenlies. Yes, it does, but it also mentions 7 times that the Christian life is a walk. We're to walk day by day. Do you know what victory is? Victory is getting breakfast for the kids in the morning, dressing the children, getting them off to school. Victory is going to work. It's cleaning the house. It's daily Bible study. It's your quiet time. It's prayer. It's visiting the sick. It's being sweet to your wife. It is all day, every day, hot day, cold days, dull days, bright days, good days, bad days, walking the Christian life.
So when Jesus says, put my yoke on, he doesn't mean when you feel like it. He means all day, every day, throughout life, in every season, because that is when you're going to most need it. Every time you have it on is when you will most need it. That's how we avoid being crushed. Instead, with Jesus, we are fine.